Hey friends, Graham here from therecordingrevolution.com, and we just had Thanksgiving in the United States. It's a wonderful holiday that usually is a great opportunity to get together with family and friends that maybe you haven't seen in a while, have a good meal, and think about things that you're thankful for. The list goes on, and there's many things that I take for granted in life, and I could go on and on about the people and the opportunities and the blessings that I am thankful for that many times when I get busy in life I forget. Today, since this is an audio channel and you're into recording music, mixing music, working out of your home studio, I'm going to narrow that down to 3 audio people / resources that I'm personally thankful for. There are many, but I wanted to keep this list a little focused for you, to point you in 3 directions that maybe you're not aware of, or maybe you haven't taken advantage of that I think will apply to most people. Okay, I'm an audio resource. I create content every single week for free for you, and I try hard to be a valuable resource. But I'm by no means the only resource. When I got started years ago, there were already quite a few great resources, and that has only grown over the years. But here are 3 of my absolute favorites, and I want you to go check them out and follow them because I know you'll learn a lot. So number 1 is maybe one that you haven't thought of, and it's Ian Shepherd's website, Production Advice. So it's productionadvice.co.uk. Now, Ian is an expert mastering engineer. This is a great resource for mastering, okay? He is a professional mastering engineer who has basically pulled back the curtain on what he does day in and day out. He's been doing this for over 15 years. He gets that specific element of the production process, and he gets it so technically. He's brilliant. He has a great British accent, so he's wonderful to listen to. But what he has done is something wonderful. He has taken his knowledge, his vast knowledge of the mastering process, and boiled it down for an audience that's working out of a home studio. So he has people like you and me in mind as he gives his articles and videos and all that kind of stuff to think about how do you master your own material? How do you achieve loudness? How do you compete with commercial releases? He analyzes hit records to see how loud they are and the dynamic range. He analyzes and he shows you what tools to use, how to use stock plugins to master. He's basically cornered the market and niched that area of recording and mixing. And I love mastering and I teach mastering, but that's primarily what he does. And he has got a wealth of knowledge, and it's free. If you're at all interested in making your own records, if you're at all interested in making them to the highest possible quality, then I highly recommend checking out productionadvice.co.uk. I'm linked to it below the video as well. And go check out Ian's stuff. It's free, and he's got a great mailing list. He's very funny. He's very talented. He's very thorough. He's a great teacher. And he's just a great person, great human being. So I'm grateful to have him as a resource personally. And I've teamed up with him in a couple places. We've had him on our Dueling Mixes membership site to teach us a little bit about mastering as well. But he's a fantastic person. He has got a wealth of free information. So go check out Ian's stuff. It will help you tremendously. Number 2 is one that I think many people are familiar with, and that is Pensado's place. Dave Pensado and his trusty partner Herb Trawick have a fantastic resource where every single week they bring on a guest on their web TV show to interview someone in the audio industry to kind of pull out the secret sauce behind what they do. Includes some of my favorite mixers, Chris Lord-Alge, Andrew Sheps, Manny Marroquin. The list goes on and on. The best in the business come on this show. They talk a little bit about what projects they're doing. They talk a little bit about what gear they like to use or what their favorite gear is. He puts them on the hot seat. But what you really get if you pay attention is you get into the mind of some of these greats and get into the mind of why they do what they do. And you also get a little bit of their story, because that's really encouraging to me to hear where many of these came from. These people, how did they start? How did they break into the business? What has made them unique? It's incredible to see how human these people are. And very few of them had golden opportunities. They worked really hard. They honed their craft. And Dave has just kind of created a culture of transparency where he somehow gets these people to open up on the show. It's incredible. So for the interviews alone, it is a fantastic free resource. They put in a lot of money to produce a high quality show. Trust me, I've been there. I was actually a guest on the show, which was a huge honor. Earlier this year, you can check out my episode if you're at all interested in hearing more about my story and how I got the recording revolution started. You can click through to that. So seeing the show in operation, seeing the production value, seeing how many people work on that set to make the show possible and deliver it to you every single week for free is insane. So it's a great resource. Plus, Dave's got his famous Into the Layer segments where he goes behind the scenes into his studio, shows you how to do stuff. He shows you what plugins he's using, how he's getting vocal sounds, how he's getting drum sounds. And Dave is sort of a crazy mad scientist. Sometimes I can't really follow what he's doing because his head is in so many places. But when you get to the end and you hear the difference that his technique or his setup is making, you hear it. You hear what he's doing and you realize it's working. So you can get over-the-shoulder training absolutely free from Dave Pensado, who in and of himself is a super talented mixer. Just seems to, again, be really, really good at what he does. There's a reason why he's been doing this for as long as he has, and all the great names have worked with him. So check out Pensado's Place, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. It's an absolute insane resource. Finally, one of my favorite audio resources is one of my buddies, Russ Hughes, another Brit who has Pro Tools Expert. It started out as a Pro Tools only website, but it has since expanded to include other DAWs, Studio One, Logic. It's growing and growing in terms of what that platform does. It's not just Pro Tools anymore. But Pro Tools Expert has been the place that I go to for Pro Tools news and Pro Tools information, because Russ has worked his way in where he knows what Avid is doing and he knows what's coming out and he's on top of things. It's the most trusted Pro Tools resource that I look to personally to know what's happening with new upgrades, what's happening with new plugins, what's happening with pricing, and then anything else in the industry. They review products, they do shootouts on gear. They have their ear to the ground and they know what's happening in the industry better than most. So if you're into knowing what's happening in the industry, check out Pro Tools Expert and then look at the other resources there as well for the DAW that you use, because again, he's grown his team and has since expanded it for a massive free resource where they have tons of videos, tons of reviews, tons of articles, tons of interviews, and they get secret information seemingly before anybody else does. So I really appreciate Russ, appreciate what he does for our industry. He's got a great audience and he commands a lot of respect, so he's able to be very brutally honest about what he likes and doesn't like about Avid or Pro Tools, and that's great for the consumer. That's great for people like me. So he's as close to them as possible without being in cahoots with them, and it's a great spot to be. So again, the internet has opened up a lot of opportunity for us, the consumer, to be informed, to make better decisions, and along with these other resources like Pensado's Place or Ian Shepherd's production advice and many others, to get better recordings and mixes in our studio. Where else do we get access to the greats of the greats? Where else can we have over-the-shoulder training and deep insight to how to do our craft from the best in the business? It's absolutely insane. And so I just wanted to point you to those three resources if you aren't already checking them out. I highly recommend you subscribe to them on whatever platform you do, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, however you like to get their content. Join their mailing lists because they tend to send out really good, valuable, free stuff that they're not going to send anywhere else. So I highly recommend that. It's all free. And I hope that my resource has been one that you're thankful for as well. If so, let me know. Let me know what about the Recording Revolution has helped you. I'd be honored to know that so I can do more of that. And maybe what hasn't helped you. Feel free to sound off in any way possible. This is your opportunity to do that. I'm going to continue to do my best to provide the best free content for you in the coming years. It's fun. I love helping people, and I know what it's like to be frustrated and to have song ideas in your head and not be able to execute them in the studio. And I'm still always learning in that process. So we have more resources than ever before today to learn how to use the gear that we now all have access to. So it's a sweet, sweet time to be making music. And I hope you reflect on that and realize how blessed you are to be making music right now in 2015, 2016, and beyond, because it's absolutely the best time to be making music, period. So be thankful. I'm thankful for you as an audience. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for all the support over the years. I would not be doing this if it weren't for people like you. So go make some great music this week. Look forward to some really cool stuff coming up in the next few weeks. I will talk to you on another video soon. Take care.